Well, welcome, guys. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I'm just losing my mind here. A lot of people are thinking, man, what is this guy doing? Has he not worked hard enough? I just love this sport, guys, and I love what we do here. But welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm sure we'll have some folks watching here after a bit. Yeah, golly. Year in review. This is Inside Motor Mania TV. It's like, holy smokes, man. I tell you what, this is something I've wanted to do for a while. And I said, with everything that's going on this year, all of the changes and things happening over the winter, it's like, this is just the right time to do that. It really is. And so I'm like, okay, let's just kick it off and let's get it going. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're doing it. So, but anyways, welcome, guys. It's the very first episode. Hopefully it's not too crazy. And let me tell you what this is about and what we're going to do here. I'm not going to probably do this live very often. I think that it's going to be more tape stuff. And, let me tell you just some of the things that have come to my mind while I was preparing for this. Now, and let me check. And the schedule should have launched the 2020, and it is. The 2026 schedule is live, guys. So I set it up to post at 7 o'clock. So, anyways, and there's, I think, 47 events on there, and there's a lot of things going on, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, what is Inside MMTV? Well, it's just kind of look behind the scenes and, get to know who we are and the life that we live out here, okay? There's a lot of folks in the YouTube world that do these kinds of things, and I always thought that it would be kind of cool, because there's stuff that we do, how we prepare food and all of these different things, and I just think it would be interesting for folks to get to know a little bit more about who we are and what we do and all those things. So some of the things that we're going to, and I'll be taping this stuff and editing it and putting it up, hopefully on a regular basis. But anyways, the shop move, okay? For those of you who don't know, we lost the lease on our shop here back about the second week of November, okay? And this is the new shop. I call it the diner, okay? And that's because, as a kid growing up on the East Coast, there were diners, okay? And the Double T Diner in Baltimore, man, I'm telling you, gravy on the French fries. You have not lived until you've been there. But it's long, it's silver, and it just seemed like the appropriate name. But that was when we got home on, was it Tuesday night? And this week is just, yeah. And we parked it. It's across the street from the house, and it's like, okay. And the other, so we'll be doing some stuff with the shop move and moving from, and it's not that far away. It's just we have a lot of junk to move. And we'll just go through and kind of chronicle that, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. But yeah, so we'll be doing that stuff. Hey, Barn, what's happening? El Toro, welcome, guys. So we'll do that. The office setup, I just got it came today, okay? And that's the office. It's right across the driveway from the house. And it'll be kind of my sanctuary. You want to call it a man cave? It's not really a man cave per se, but I got a good deal on it, and they came and they brought it today and set it up. And then Captain Jack, helped me move this big old heavy desk, this Ethan Allen desk that we've had forever, and we moved it down here because it's one of the really big heavy things that we had to move. So we got that moved, and I'm going to build that out. I'm going to, do the whole thing with how we're going to insulate it and all that. It's going to be an EcoFlow solar setup, as well as, again, all of that as we do it. I'm just going to tape it and talk through it and do all the things that you see so many other folks do here on YouTube. So that'll be one of the videos coming up, the garage solar program, okay? We built this beautiful garage back, oh my goodness, it was February of last year. And when we got home, that was one of the things we did when we came home. And I really have not got to do anything with it. There's some supplies in there, some different things, and now all that's going to go over to the diner, and I'll get it wired up. I bought another EcoFlow system, EcoFlow Ultra, and it's got, actually 6 410 watt solar panels. It's got 12,000 kilowatts worth, or 12 kilowatts, I guess, worth of batteries. It's got 7,200 watt generator. The head is a 7,200 watt generator. Well, that's as big as most of our motorhomes have, so I don't think that's ever going to be a big thing. There's Joanne. Hello, Judson. What's happening? Is that like overdid it? Anyways, let's see. So I'm going to work to get that put together over the winter. When you look at what you use in the garage, most of the time it's your lights, okay? I mean, you compressors and welders and those types of things, but in all seriousness, the solar system that I bought should be more than enough. So, but we're going to go through all of that stuff, guys, as I get that all set up and we get things wired and ready to rock and roll, and I'm really excited about that. We also, I've talked about in the past, we have the onboard solar program here on the Eagle, the King's Coach. That's that Freudian slip thing, and we've got, 21 kilowatts worth of power. It can run the whole motorhome. It runs the airs and everything else. And then we've got 1,000 watts of solar on top of the, 2,000 watts of solar. Hang on, let me think now. No, 2,000 watts of solar, split in two. So I got 1,000 for each side. There's some limitations with those particular solar generators, and that proved out really well. But I'm going to walk through all of that and the build on that, and explain how we did that and what we did. And I think, quite honestly, there are some folks that might want to do something like that, put a solar setup, not maybe as extensive as this, but overnight, to be able to shut the generator down and to let the air still run and be comfortable and get up in the morning, it saves, to me, and yes, I know there's expense with the system, but to me it saves on maintenance on the generator, it saves on diesel, and just, it's peace to my ears, okay? So I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about that, is that it's just quiet, okay? And again, there's a lot of benefits from it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some weirdo green guy. I just like it. I think there's a place for it in our lives, and it's a whole lot cheaper, like doing what I'm doing in the office and what I'm going to do in the garage. Guys, trust me, that is a whole lot cheaper than what it would cost to have Georgia Power come and drop in a meter to that. So anyways, mic is hot. Okay, let me bring it down a little. Okay, hopefully that's better, guys. Okay, is that better? Some of you guys let me know in the chat. All right, anyways, so we where was I at? I was talking about the solar stuff. Right? Anyway, so but I just think there's a place in it for our lives. And again, it's so much cheaper than if I were to have Georgia Power come and and run a line and put in a meter base and do all of that stuff for either the office or for the garage. It would be very, very expensive. And this way, you still got to deal with the wiring and whatnot. The shop or the garage the office came wired. So I'm going to add a couple more outlets, but beyond that, it's ready to go. Just plug it in and let it rock. The King's coach is going to come back. Okay. We were looking at a couple of different things. We thought about donating it to a veterans deal, and the Lord just impressed on me that, you need that. And this is what and so we're going to bring it back. We're going to put a new studio in it. We've got, most of the equipment that was already in there. We've got the equipment from the fly kit. We have lots of equipment. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing this winter as we move. We are going to, from the shop to the diner, we're going to be going through, and I know George Atchison is interested in some more cameras, and so we're going to probably look to sell some of those things, and if we can, get them sold to somebody who can use them in this business, streaming drag racing, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, and then I thought, I've got to do a golf cart rebuild. There's lots of things. So there's going to be one of those deals where I'm hoping to maybe do one of those a month. And it may be more than that. I guess it really kind of depends. Okay, the schedule right now we have, let me look. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Let me look at the schedule. I want to say right now, and there's a lot going on with this. There is, let's see. Right now we have 47 events scheduled. Okay, now we're still waiting to get confirmation on, there's like 5 or 6 more. We did 52 events this year. But there's like 5 or 6 more in the offing. It just depends. There's a lot of changes out there because of the IHRA and them buying various tracks and what have you. So it's impacted some of the local stuff that we've done. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Speaking about that and the IHRA, and guys, don't ever think I'm going to get in the middle of all this fighting that's going on out there and people being silly and 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, IHRA, NHRA. Let me tell you something. Drag racing is drag racing. We love the sport. We love the people. And we're going to support those folks here, okay? Now, one of the other things is that everybody, and this was a decision that we made. We've talked about it. We've kind of gone back and forth on it. But when we stream an event, it's going to be on Motormania TV. We're not a production company. That's not what we do. We have done that work in the past. Guys, we worked for Drag Week for 4 years. We've done some other things where we stream to other people's channels, and we're just not going to do that anymore. It really makes no sense, okay? If we're going to grow anything, we need to grow Motormania TV. And we have great viewership and great numbers now. So, it's like, we'd love to get to 100,000 subs. We're hoping that we can do that. We are less than 500 away from 80,000 subs. So we're sneaking up on it, guys. So and I know that, believe it or not, a lot of people that watch our channel are not subscribed. So guys, please subscribe. Do the notification. You don't have to turn them on, but I can tell you that a lot of people come in through the thumbnails that Joanne creates for the show. The click-through rate on those is 13 to 15%, which is almost unheard of. So but if you aren't, go ahead and subscribe. We always bring good information. We always bring live events. They're always free. We are going to do some things with some membership in the future, but that's not going to have any impact on your ability to watch the show. It's a different thing, but we'll talk about that when that time comes. But anyway, so far, I mean, this year has already been was exciting. We added the Eagle in February. We went and picked it up and brought it home. And guys, let me tell you something. You buy an old motorhome, you're going to work on it. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how well it was taken care of. You're going to have some work to do on it. Okay, it's plain and simple. It really is. Okay, all right. We're happy with the volume. Anyways, and so we've been working on it. Slowly but surely, we pressed it into service. We even talked about not doing that and getting it ready and then, launching out with it in 26. But, I said, look, I talked to my best friend and we talked about this, and it's kind of like, is it going to leave you on the side of the road anywhere? I don't believe so. He goes, then you're just going to fix it as you go. You might as well do it now, and you'll find everything. And that's what we've done. We found everything that needed to be squared away, and so we're in really, really good shape with the Eagle, and we're so happy that we got it. And oh, by the way, even when you buy some of the new motorhomes, you end up working on them, guys. Okay. All right, so let's talk about 25. The stats were amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. 52 events streamed. We have 79,500, I think actually 505 or something like that, subscribers. We have 5,300 new subscribers in 2025. We had 2.7 million views of our content, 1.3 million hours. Was it hours? Hang on a second here. I'm going to sit here and I don't want to story to you. I may have that wrong. There we go. No, yeah, 1.3 million hours, 71 million minutes of, let's see, 1.3 no, hours watched, 71 million minutes of content. Watch live, guys. This is live. That's the numbers that we capture. We do it a couple of different ways, but the stuff that we use, that we send to the promoters and to the tracks and to the sponsors out there, is during the live portion of it. So 1.3 million hours watched. Okay, is just absolutely astounding. I have some graphics here too. Oh my goodness, I have all of this stuff. There we go. There it is. Okay, so 30 minutes on average of the 30 minutes on average view time, 59,000 average monthly viewers, guys. So that means nearly 60,000 people a month come and watch the content. So for the promoters out there, the track operators, the sponsors and everything, guys, people are coming back and they're watching the content over and over and over again, and that's pretty amazing. And that's an average again. Okay, so that's even January and February we don't do anything historically. So when we start talking 10 months out of the year, that's pretty incredible that we have those types of numbers. Alrighty, 66% of the people watch us on their connected TV, guys. 66%. YouTube has become the number one video platform on the planet, period, bar none. I was watching they were doing their review for the year. Okay, they have 1 billion hours of content consumed a day. Can you imagine that? A day. It's absolutely astounding. Top videos of the year. And some of these are not any surprise to anyone, but the 30th annual $1 million race, Yellow Bullet Nationals, TB Promotions 100K at Bowling Green, the BTE World Foot Brake Challenge at Bristol were the top viewed events of the year. That's really, really spectacular. And then we had the 5 top watched countries, and that was the USA, and this was 96.6% of our total viewership was, of course, USA, Canada, Puerto Rico, Australia, and Brazil. So, and then there's lots. I mean, quite honestly, guys, pretty much any place on the planet that can watch YouTube, we can be watched, okay? And we have seen where it's 130, 140 different countries all over, okay? I mean, we're talking Africa, of course, Australia, even into Russia. I don't think in China, believe it or not. No, I take that back. North Korea, I think, is the only one that we aren't seeing that. But that's, you know, it's absolutely amazing. The other thing, and this was, I just signed up for a service that is going to help us promote the channel and do more things, do some smart things. They're very good at what they do. And this information came from them, all right? We are in the top 5% in the auto and vehicle category on YouTube, the entire planet, okay? Now, we're like number 9,000, okay, out of 194,000 channels, okay? But still, the fact that we're in the top 5%, we're in the top 9% in the United States. We are the 104,000th channel ranking out of 1.2 million total channels. We're top 6% in the world as far as content viewers and subscribers. With there's 12.3 million channels around the world, and we are ranked at number 685,000. Okay, now some people will go, well, yeah, okay, Mark, it's not Cletus McFarland. No, it's not. Okay, but we stream real content here. Okay, I won't say anything else. Our overall numbers, this is something that when you look at our overall numbers and what we, when we go back and we look at us historically. Now, you have to understand something, that I have been streaming for 20 years. Jimmy Biggs and I started with Your Way Network a long, long time ago. And then we started Motormania TV in 2010, and so next year is our 16th, or this year. I don't know why 26 just isn't clicking. This is our 16th year streaming Motormania TV. These are our numbers, okay? 1 billion minutes watched live. 1 billion minutes watched live while the event was going on. 4 billion minutes total watch. In other words, people came back and watched the archives. 52 million total views over the 16 years. We've streamed 678 events. That's like 2,000 days of streaming. We've produced in-house now, this is all of the content, 16,877 hours of in-house produced content, either something where we pulled clips and put them together, or live, or we did a video, something similar to this. 16,877 hours, and that content has been viewed 4 billion minutes worth in the 16 years that we've been doing this. So what's 2026 going to bring? Well, I can tell you, you've seen the schedule, and of course all of our favorites are back. Kohlberg Production, Jed and Steve and those guys with the World Foot Brake Challenge, the Labor Day Foot Brake Challenge, and the Thanksgiving Foot Brake Challenge. TB Promotions, they've really stepped it up, okay, we've been out doing interviews and all of those things, doing stuff live, doing stuff taped. Dan Fletcher and crew, 2 more events back at, well, I'm calling it the Glot 250, the spring and the fall, at the Durana, is it Motorsports Park? I'm not quite sure how he's doing all the naming, okay? But in Dunn, North Carolina, Great American Bracket Race. Again, 3 great races for those guys. They're actually doing their New Year National this weekend. So if you're close by, go out and check it out. They said the place is packed. We're hoping that one of these days they'll say, hey, we want Motormania TV for that. Flickr Promotion. It's Ryan and Johnny Izell and the whole crew there. AMRA guys, in the motorcycle world, they've been around a long time. They are so excited about what we did in 25. We're back with those guys again in 2026. JRE, that's the Midwest Sportsman Motorcycle Racing Group. That's one of the ones that we are doing their race in August. And I think actually Joanna and I are doing that one. And we're waiting. They're working on getting the sponsors together for their other two races, which we're just waiting to hear. The Million. Did you guys see that Randy and Jen and Dave and the rest of the crew, they're going to do a third event, okay? And it's going to be at Indy. I love the fact that these guys have taken their brand, the OG Million guys. I don't think it gets any better than that when we start talking about old school, big money bracket racing. That's kind of the granddaddy of them all, okay? And so they added Gainesville a couple of years ago, and now they've added Indy, and we're looking forward to getting to do that. Mutt and Jeff is back again for 2 years. We've got the race over Father's Day in June, and then we've got the Fall Brawl in October at Mason-Dixon. Triple 12s, Wes May, we're back with him again. King of the Creek. We've been doing Wesley stuff for several years now. Yellow Bullet Nationals, again, that is, there's a relationship there between Monty, Maria, and Jim with us. Goes back, guys, we're talking 20 years, okay, that we've known those guys. And they made a commitment to us several years ago. There's a group that has tried to kind of steal that race from us, and they offered us a lot of money. They offered those guys a lot of money, and we just all decided, you know what, this needs to be free, okay? Anybody needs to be able to watch it wherever they're at for free, not behind a paywall. I absolutely do not believe that it should be behind a paywall. I don't. I just don't think that's the right thing to do. Because it doesn't help the sport. But anyways, and I've talked about that in the past. That's not news, guys. I think that we do more for the sport by having it free to the viewers, okay? Sponsor supported is kind of like the old TV format where, you found sponsors to pay for things, okay? And that's Jimmy and I, when we started this deal way back when with Your Way Network, it was like the TV model was the only thing that was ever going to work. And you know what? That's the way it's worked. And I can tell you, there's a whole group of sponsors out there that support all of these races. And I can't tell you how much, we're so grateful for what they do, supporting the promoters, supporting the events, supporting the tracks. And it's the big wheel, guys. And we're all part of that wheel, and we all move through this space, okay? And to me, it's like, if this is the thing that I can bring to the table to help keep the wheel moving, then that's what I'm going to do. But I absolutely believe, and you guys know how I feel about that it needs to be free to the viewer. That's why we say that every single time. Free to the viewer. Anyways, let's see. Yellow Bullet, back to the streets, drag and drive. Now that's a kind of a miniature drag week. It's been kept small. Matt Lang he's the head dude for that thing, and it continues to grow. I think I'm hearing he wants to keep it at like 150 cars. We go to tracks. This year we are starting at Bunker Hill. We're not going to race at Bunker Hill on the first day. We're going to go down to Wabash. And then from Wabash, we're going to Wagler Motorsports Park. From Wagler, we're going to Brown County, which is, you've heard of, War in the Woods or something. It's intense, okay? That's one of those where it's like, if it gets loose, lift. Because if not, we had several wrecks there. And one was pretty hard on a guy, a fellow third-gen guy out of Canada. And, he's working on getting his car back together. We're hoping to see him back this year. But if we go from Brown County and then we go to Bunker Hill, and we're going to race there, and that'll finish that up for us. So that's our only drag and drive, and again, it's going to be right here on Motormania TV. Then we're looking at the Immokalee. You know, they're still doing, working through the whole lease program thing down there with them at the airport. You know, for so many years, there were no problems, and then they decided, well, there is a problem. So, and it's, it's the economics of it. There's land, there's hangar space people want to build, all of those things. So we're hoping that we get to go back for the FTD end of the year extravaganza, as well as the winter warm-up hosted by McCarty Auto Parts. So his lease, he's good through the April, and when I talked to Thomas, he said that he's hopefully going to, hopefully it gets renewed, all right, and they can move on. And then the New Year's Nationals is going to move, guys. We're just waiting to find out when. I know it's been tough on Rob. Any time you do something and you change something or you limit something and people really get kind of cranked up about it, and I don't think folks really understand what it takes to promote an event. We actually talked about doing that a long time ago, and after watching these people struggle, and yes, there's times where, it's super successful and things are happening, but I can tell you that I don't want to go through that. I'm too busy doing what I do here, and I don't want to mess that up, okay? So my hat's off to those guys, and I know Rob is working on getting it sorted, as far as getting it, he's going to do it again, if he's going to do it again, and where he's going to do it. I know that talking to the participants in that event over the years, they love that event. It's the last hurrah of the year, and they want to continue to do it. So, and it's always had great support from the racers and the sponsors, as well as people. It was well well attended and well viewed, and it's a big deal for the juniors too. Okay, guys. Rob does an age out ceremony for them. It's kind of you're graduating from high school, so to speak, okay, and moving from the juniors into the big cars. It's just a neat deal all around. So we're hoping that Rob can get everything sorted as far as where he wants to do it and that he wants to do it. Okay, as far as things that are going on that we're waiting to hear from, we were contacted by the OSTPA, that's the Ohio State Tractor Pulling Association, and about streaming their events. Wow, okay, there's like 40 events, which of course we couldn't do all of those, but and we would have to have a lot of help. But we're waiting to hear back from them. I sent an email to the individual that I'm working with. They are connected in with the IHRA, and I told him, I said, we really want, we were really only going to stream stuff to Motormania TV. I said, if you're interested in what we can provide, then I will show you that. We can send you the information, because they were wanting to do something different, and we really don't want to do that anymore, guys. We're just not going to do that. And then we're waiting to hear back from the IHRA. I've emailed with Doug Foley Jr. as well as with Woody Woodruff, who is the COO of IHRA, on their team finals, and we're just waiting to hear, okay? And there was some discussion about whether we're going to stream it to Motormania or to IHRA, and I'm just going to let them know, guys, look, we want to do it here. I went back and checked, and we have streamed a total of 65 events with the IHRA over the years. So when you talk about those 687 events, 65 of them were IHRA, and those were the pro-ams, those were national events, those were we never did do the team finals, but we always did the world finals, and of course we did the the finals for the brackets. Okay, just like what we did up in Steel this year, and of course we did that in the WDRA as well. So we're waiting to hear back from them. We don't know, guys, but we also know that the good Lord has it under control, and He's going to bring exactly what we need and how we need it. A big shout out to Team 5, Chuck, Jenna, and Barn. And let me tell you something about Barn. Barn, you have to understand what Barney does for us, okay? He does Nightbot, okay? And it breaks and it does all kinds of crazy things, and he goes and fixes it, okay? The weather broke on this last race, and he went and fixed it, okay? The chapters, if you guys go back and you watch a show, you can see that it's broken up into the rounds. That's because Barney does that, okay? So huge shout out to him. I know he's not been feeling great lately, but huge shout out to him. He really makes a huge difference in what we do every year at every event. Of course, Joanne, I mean, without her actually sitting here doing the producing, and putting up with all of the insanity of travel and everything else, because I know where her heart is. I know she loves me, and she does this because she loves me, and I am eternally grateful for that. Of course, Tony, MMTV3, he's half of this team when it comes to what we stream every year. Diamond State Digital, those guys have done several events for us the last couple of years. They're going to do a couple more this year. Mad City LLC, they did one of the AMR races for us, and if we do some of these other events, we may call on those guys to help us again this year. Also, Chad Reynolds at Bang Shift. You know, Chad did 2 events for us this past year. Of course, it was on Motormania, but Chad brought his stuff and did the job, and we're super grateful for that. Also, Scott Lemon at DRR. When I send out information about what we're streaming that weekend, I send it to 2 sources now. I send it to Chad Reynolds, and I send it to Scott Lemon, and those guys always post. You see them. Scott posted in the forums on DRR, and Chad always puts a link. It's normally right on the front page there to the stream, and of course to the chat and everything else. So, you know, this is really a team effort, guys. This is all of us working together. There are literally only, I think, 4 or 5 of us that stream sportsman drag racing. We're not going to do national events. I don't believe that's in our cards. We don't do any NHRA stuff. That's really, Warren does a lot of their division stuff. And he does a great job. George does some of that stuff over at Going Bracket Racing. And then there is, let's see, who else? So we've got us and Tony, Diamond State Digital. Mad City wants to do more, but, we'll just have to wait and see if we've got some stuff for them. And of course, Warren at Drag Racer TV. And those are really it in this business, okay? I think we're the only ones that are crazy enough to do this because it's a lot of hours and a lot of time. Alrighty. Well, that is all of the formal stuff, guys. And just kind of wanted to get you up to speed. This is the first time we've ever done this, but, what's happening with our program, what's happening with our move, and the fact that we're going to have everything co-located really close together, okay? Our shop or our offices have always been away from the house, and that can just be problematic at times because it's like, well, I need to go to the office to do this. Well, I get in the truck, and, of course, it's not been bad here because I just drive down the road 2 miles and I'm there, okay? But like in town in Warner Robins, you had to drive and fight the traffic and everything else. Then we had the other smaller warehouse in Byron, and that was just, it really wasn't conducive. We never did any live stuff in there. That was really more for equipment and just working on various programs. And that's where Unit 2 was kept for most of its life when it was not being utilized. And then here in town, and Bruce Swearingen and his lovely bride, we can't thank them enough for letting us. That facility down there is spectacular. Okay, it really is. 6,000 square feet. It's got an office and an upstairs. And what it is their daughter. One daughter is coming home, and they're going to take the office and the upstairs and create an apartment. And then she is. I guess she went to college for physical fitness stuff, and she's looking at starting a gym and coming up with those various programs. And so it's an exciting time for them, and that's why they needed the building back. But let me tell you something. God always provides, okay? And that took us by surprise. We ended up, I called Joanne. She was on her way home from Warner Robins. She had gone for an appointment, and she put a post, a prayer request, out on the JAMA Facebook page. 4 hours, guys. We had a place to go. 4 hours. If you understand where we live, Taylor County has less than 8,000 people in it. There are two big cities, Reynolds and Butler. There's some other smaller ones. But finding any type of facility where we could park all this junk, yeah. And to find it, and it's right across the street, let me tell you something. When you're on a mission and you're doing the work for the Lord, he just makes it work, guys. He really does. Okay. I think that's all of it. I probably have talked plenty long here. Okay, any questions? Joanne, she is the hostess with the mostest, you betcha. She does a great job. She really does. I keep trying to get her to maybe do something on Sunday morning. She's like, that's your deal. Anyways, all righty. Let's see. Yep, she is a rock star, Barn. I agree. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, driving through Valdosta. All right, be careful. I think that's it, guys. I can't think of anything else. Again, it's exciting times for us. Oh, I know what I was going to talk to you guys about. AI. We're gonna do some stuff with AI where it makes sense. It just, that changes every day. If you've ever had a conversation with ChatGPT, pick a subject that you want to talk about and get smart about, or look for some help, because I've gone to ChatGPT and because we've got website stuff to do and some back-end PHP stuff and whatnot, and it's going to take some changing some coding, and the template system that we use to build our websites doesn't exist anymore, so we can't update them. And anyways, but that's just one of the things, and it's every day it gets better. It gives you more opportunity to do things. And so, hey, we'd just be dumb not to do that, guys. Oh, and Tony, golly, I almost forgot. He's working. He's got the live timing stuff put together. Now we're trying to downsize it into, you guys may have seen some of these small I don't call them microcomputers, but they're small, they're like this big, okay? And to make sure that the program will work in that, so that we can deploy this stuff and start having it at every event that we go to. We are doing it at some stuff. Thank you to Stefan Monet at Time Slips for allowing us to use his program. We've done that several times this year. We did it at Bradenton, as a matter of fact. That's just a huge bonus, okay? And I tell you what, if you're not aware of his program, you're a track operator, get up with him. It can save you $10,000 a year. And let me tell you, in this business, when you can save that kind of money, you need to check it out, okay? You really do. And the other thing, too, is that you can put it right into any live stream you do, not just necessarily something with Motormania TV, but you can do it with anything that you're doing at the track. It's really pretty easy to integrate. So, all righty, let's see. Can I do a video with me? Maybe. I need to run the car, okay? And I've actually done some stuff. I have to have different equipment. I got to get my GoPro out, and I'm going to do that because of some of the other stuff I'm going to be doing. But yeah, Joanne has done some video stuff with I think she did it with her phone, as a matter of fact. But just, the car is we're working on getting it tested. I got a new converter, FTI converter, to put in it. We think it's really going to wake it up. It runs 1170s now, and I think it's going to run. We're thinking it's going to pick up 3 or 4 tenths, guys. And Matt seems to think that we keep tweaking it, we might even be able to get it into the high tens. So, but yeah, as soon as we can get back to the track, guys, and get all this mess sorted out, but first we got to get moved and we got to get things set up here so that we can continue to bring great content to you guys. Again, my heartfelt thanks to you guys for watching every week. Okay, there's faithful viewers. We see them all the time, and you guys really make a difference in our ability to do this, because when you watch and we send those numbers to the promoters and to the sponsors, and they send those on to the sponsors, it makes them understand that the money they're spending with the promoters and with the tracks and even with us, for, you know, hey, shout out Weldon, okay, back for the 4th year now. Just amazing. Those guys, I tell you what, having them on board has really helped with taking care of our IT stuff, because it's out of control, guys. We're still spending $2,000 a month on IT stuff, and we don't, well, other than Starlink, which is a great bargain at $165 a month. We don't have the big dish on the top of the motorhomes anymore. We did away with it. That program was way over the top expensive. But we're still spending, you know, you still got to have connectivity with all the cell services. We still have our own server, which hosts our websites. We got a couple of customer websites down there. But, you know, that it's still all cost, okay? And having them on board, and we're really... Check, check, check. Anyways, oh my goodness, guys. Hang on a second. Okay, we should be back. Sorry about that. It needed batteries. Alrighty, we should be back. I was a little behind because I hadn't. Oh, good. Alrighty, very good. Thanks. I looked down and it was blinking red. And then it was not doing anything. And then this one was blinking, and it's like, no battery. Anyways, I think I pretty much had finished talking what I was going to talk about, guys. Okay, alrighty. Anything else? I think that's really it, guys. Exciting year ahead. We're jazzed. Weldon's back on board. We're right now have 47 events scheduled, and we believe there's going to be more. Yeah, it's an exciting time. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. because it's late Friday night. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out and watching. And we will see you. For those who stop by on Sunday morning, we will see you then. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this deal. Thanks again for coming by, guys. We appreciate it. And we'll see you at the next one.
Weldon, pumps, regulators, filters, fueling champions.